Oh, it sounds so funny. Hi, everyone. We are going to just dive in tonight. We're going to do this pre-recorded, or not pre-recorded. We're recording live. Sorry. Um, and we're super excited to be able to share this with anyone who jumps on and listens to the recording. My name is Amy. I have actually been here officially 8 years. I today's my 8-year anniversary, which kind of blows my mind that so much time has passed so quickly. I got started in my journey solely as a customer at first. I joined a boot camp with my coach, looking for that thing to kind of gain control in my life again. I was 13 years post life after loss. My oldest daughter's dad had passed away in a car accident, and I was grieving really hard. But I needed something to put my focus on because I had so many other things going on in my personal life that literally felt like I was living a Lifetime movie. And so I needed that outlet. I needed something that I could just do for myself. I was, her only her only parent, so I wanted to take better care of myself too. And I fell in love. I don't know what's going on with my voice all of a sudden, but I fell in love instantly, and I started smiling again, and I felt happy again, and I knew I needed to pay this forward, and I also knew I needed a part-time job. I had already filled out applications at, you know, Lifetime Fitness to work at their front desk, or a hair salon to work at their front, like just random things, because I was a single mom. Well, God had other plans, and it made me sick to my stomach actually to think of going to a part-time job outside of the house and take me away from my daughter any more than I already had to be. And this thing of, being in the boot camps, and it became very therapeutic for me. My coach had asked, like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this with me? And I ignored her, but literally like 3 days later, I was like, okay, tell me more about this, whatever. And here I am. 8 years later, I now do it full time. There's a very long story from the beginning till now, but I'll just keep it short and sweet by saying that this has completely changed my life. It has brought healing in many ways. It has brought a bit of financial freedom to know that I now get to do this full time. And I just love that my daughter, when I now have two, my daughters get to see me living a healthy lifestyle. They get to see me a part of a healthy, happy community of girlfriends, in hopes that that will inspire them as they get older, as they pick their groups of friends that they connect with. So much to my story, but I'll leave it kind of at that right now. We're going to switch over to Kate. I got to meet Kate this past weekend. We were in Florida for a leadership retreat within our team. That's one of the perks about this too, is the travel opportunity. That's what got me hooked, actually. And it was really special to be able to meet Kate in person. She's a newer coach, and she'll share a little bit about when she got started. But there was a piece that I had heard her, that she had shared with myself, but then I kind of overheard some conversations that she was having with other coaches as we were getting to know one another. And it was about her fitness journey and hearing how she's still in the early stages of that. And I liked that she's been baby stepping in a way into her wellness journey, and not trying to do this like complete 180 overhaul and fix all the things all at once. And she spent most of her time fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then through conversations, hearing her talking about, I want to learn more about nutrition, and I think I'm ready to take that next baby step. Now, Kate, you can share a little bit more about your story too, but I also want you to answer this question about, like, what would you say to somebody who feels that they can't do this yet because they haven't met their health goals, and that, like, they're not an expert in their own journey yet, or don't have that thing figured out to be able to coach other people? Like, how can I have success in this if I'm still very new in my wellness journey and I'm not quite there yet with my goals?
Yeah, so I can 100% relate to that, because When I was first asked to join the company, I was asked obviously to coach and, start my fitness journey at the same time. And I had the thought that went in my head, and I'd been presented to it about a year before that. But the second time that I was asked, I did have the thought in my head that how can I be a coach when I don't feel like I look like a coach? That I don't feel that I have the right body, the right mindset. Um,
Did I freeze or did she freeze? Oh, shoot.
I didn't want other women to feel that way. So I knew that I was going to share my journey from day one all the way through so that way I can bring people with me to hold me accountable. One of the biggest accountability pieces that I have is that I brought on challengers right away. Um, you can see that in my story that I did progress to the diamond rank pretty quickly within about 6 weeks. And I mainly did that because I knew I needed to be surrounded with people that depended on me. And I knew if they were depending on me, I was going to show up every day, that I was going to hold myself accountable. I wouldn't miss a workout because I can't miss posting my sweaty selfie or my workout clip because I've got people who are looking to me to stay motivated. And how are they going to stay motivated if I'm not showing up? Um, so my biggest coaching journey really began because I needed that extra help. I needed the accountability. I needed the support. I needed the community. I couldn't get to a gym anymore because I had 2 young children. And I missed that camaraderie that you have at a gym when you have friends that you're showing up with every day. And working out at home wasn't giving me that on my own. But this platform gave me all of that. It gave me the community. It gave me the workouts. It gave me the accountability. And now I'm ready to dive into nutrition. So the new gut protocol, it comes out next month. I've already got a group of girls who are going to start it with me, and I'm going all in. Like my fitness journey and my coaching journey are the same.
I love that. And I think that's an area that we sometimes like underestimate or maybe undervalue of the accountability component. I've said it so many times that sure, I'd probably still be on my wellness journey to a degree. But if it weren't for the accountability of knowing that you have other people that need to link arms with you, they need your support, I probably wouldn't be as like invested mentally and emotionally into my wellness journey as so I love that. Accountability is a huge bonus to coaching. I love that. Sammy. Sammy is what I like to call I love watching her. She's got 3 little kiddos. And what I love about her is that she brings in this other element to who Sammy is. It's not just the fitness. I think we hear often like, I don't want to do all just like fitness stuff and health stuff on my social media. Like I have more to offer. And one of the things that I really love watching Sammy, my littlest is like really little. So I've been inspired by her with her fun toddler crafts and things like that. But one thing that we often hear is I'm too busy. And I think we often wear that busy badge as like a badge of honor in a sense. But for those that are hesitant on saying yes to this opportunity and yes to becoming a part of this family because they're too busy and have a lot on their plate, what could you share with us, like how you've been able to make this a successful business for you, being a busy mom?
Sure. So I can kind of speak, 'cause that was literally the first thing that came into my head when I was very first brought into like this world. And they asked, I was like, when am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to fit that in? At that time, I was working out of the home 40 hours a week, and I had a long commute, both dealing with kids and just my long commute for work. And at that time, I just had one kiddo, and I was already feeling very conflicted with like how little time I got to spend with him in the evening. And I'm like, how do I manage this? I was getting up early, trying to get my workout in, doing all that. And it kind of came to that point of like, I want to do this for that accountability. And because I feel so good, I want to pay that forward. And so I was like, whatever, it doesn't have, at that point, I was like, it doesn't have to be this huge thing. What if I just do it at whatever level? And I figured out quickly how to navigate that. And now, even as a stay-at-home mom, I have 3 little people. When I started doing this more like focused as a business, I had just had our 3rd kid. We had 2 under 2 and a brand new 4-year-old. So it was a very crazy season. And I think finding it like as a thing that I did for me really was a big deal. And like, I needed that connection with other moms. I needed that connection with other people. And it was just about finding little pockets of time throughout my day, especially when I was working full time. And then, so a lot of times on my lunch break, I would be like checking in with my group and sending out an email, or in the morning or right before bedtime. That was like when I was doing some of those little tasks. And it was like, okay, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, maybe 20 minutes there. I was listening to personal development or trainings when I had my long commute, instead of just like listening to the radio. I started just shifting some of those pieces. I gave up, a couple nights of watching Netflix to be able to pour into this, because it was it made me feel better than the show did most of the time. And it also was like, I know this is providing me something for me, for my family, all of those pieces. And so I was willing to like sacrifice some of that to ultimately have more of it now. And I think that part is really important for me. And I think anyone else that's going into it is like, why am I doing this? Why am I showing up? Right. And so that was kind of where I started with those pieces. And now it's constantly shifting. Like, it's constantly shifting. I think anyone who's done this for a little while, I know Amy, that's true, as her seasons of life have changed. For me, I was like, okay, now I'm going to do it during nap time. And that was what worked well for me, in trying to fit that time in to do most of my business. And now my youngest doesn't want to take naps anymore. And so it's again back to kind of those first things. And then I have preschool days now. So it's like power through 2 days a week where I have 2 hours. I'm doing a lot of work during that time. And then sporadically again throughout those little pockets, you guys. But the cool thing is, it's truly about what you make it and what you want it to be. And I think so much of the time we think it's going to be this huge commitment. And of course, as your business grows, that certainly you can create more time for it. But a lot of times it's like 15-minute blocks here and there. A lot of ladies will talk about like, I'm pumping and I'm doing my work. I'm, riding in the car and I'm listening to this. I'm going to the bathroom in the morning and I'm checking in with my group, like all those silly little things. But it's just like changing your schedule around, and you realize the value you're getting from it. And so you don't really, to me, it doesn't feel like it's taking away from those spaces. So, and you're just sharing your journey and sharing your life. It's like 95% of the stuff you're already doing anyways. So why not share about it? And then the rest of it just kind of fills in. So that's kind of how we've navigated it through different seasons. And it just is cool, because what other job do you have that does that? I always think about that, as Amy talks about that. Like, if you're going to get a part-time job, it's going to be hours not set by you to earn that extra income, doing something that you maybe don't even love. This allowed me to choose when I want to work and make my income based upon that. And I don't have to spend more time away from my family, because I can do it in the cracks of time that works for me. And it might be 5 hours a week versus 5 hours for one night away from them doing something that I can't, do around that time. So now it's like they're in bed, doesn't matter. So just kind of that piece is really nice.
I love that. And we often hear too, like that saying, short-term sacrifices for a long-term gain. And often we have this thing in our head where we're having to say no to XYZ, fill in the blank. But really, if you just flip the dialogue, you're actually just saying yes to something else. Yep. That it's not this negative, like, oh, but then I can't watch Netflix, or no, I'm can't do this anymore, but actually you're saying yes to that bigger thing down the road, or even saying yes to more of that instant gratification, knowing that you lifted up another mom or a woman in one of your groups and you spent maybe 10 minutes just connecting with them and supporting them in your groups or in private messaging. Wow, what an impact that has on both parties, because your heart is full and their heart is full, and that's something that I'm willing to give up Netflix for, right? Amanda was another one of the friends on our retreat this past weekend in Florida. And Amanda, you've been coaching for, we should go kind of miss. Sammy, how long have you been coaching?
Well, I say technically 3.5 years now. Though I've technically been a coach for like 6.5. But I didn't really start running a business until our youngest was born. So
and that's
3.5
okay.
years now.
That proves, that's a perfect example right there, that you can get started with this journey even if you're not ready to go all in and full force. But you can still have success and you can still have those wins in that season of time, in that season of life. And
it was definitely more of a hobby initially, kept me accountable, and then it just grown into more as I was like, this is what I want to do, and I'm not going to focus on all those other pieces right now. So
absolutely. And then Kate, you're like new. How long? When did you?
I'm in my 4th month.
I love that. And I love that so much. I love having that newer blood, newer energy, something that's relatable for those that are listening to this right now, of like, well, here are all these others that have been around for a long time. Like, where do I fit in with this? Like, Kate is super relatable then in that sense. Amanda, on our retreat, we were challenged to, like, what is our why? What is that thing that's going to get us up early in the morning? And, or not necessarily early in the morning, but put our feet on the ground and get us really excited. Can you share a little bit about back when Amanda first signed up and enrolled as a coach and joined this team, what her why was then and how it might look a little bit different now? Because it's okay for our whys to evolve, right?
Yeah, so hi. I have been coaching for about 1.5 years now. So when I first started coaching, it was like during the pandemic, right? Like everything was uncertain. My husband got a notice from work that was like, we're going to be cutting back hours. My coach had asked me before if I wanted to coach, and like Kate, I didn't feel like I was at a point where I could share my journey and inspire others, but it was just like kind of the stars were aligning. I got that message and I'm like, well, maybe I could at least pay for my Shakeology if I did something, right? Like, and then I wouldn't have that guilt, like if his hours are cut or something. But then I was doing the programs. I think for me, it was 80 Day Obsession. There was a point in there where I was like, wow, I just all of a sudden one day felt like, holy buckets, I actually can do this. I'm feeling really good about where I'm at. I think I had lost 20 pounds and I just was feeling really, I guess, inspired to share that. And so I listened to one of these calls randomly. I didn't even tell my coach that I had reconsidered. And then I told her the next day, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. Because all of those things had happened in that time, right? Like I started feeling a little more confident and, then just other things were a little bit uncertain. So, but ultimately the real reason why I signed up to coach, bottom line, was because I really wanted other people to start feeling as good as I was starting to feel and to start feeling confident. If they were kind of in the same situation as I was. Many years ago had joined a gym, hired a personal trainer, spent thousands and thousands of dollars, worked out 2 hours a day, ate 1,200 calories, and I lost 95 pounds. And I was like in the best shape of my life. But then I had to like do real life, and I had met my husband, had kids. I was like, I don't know how to do this without doing it that way I did last time. until I started doing these programs at home. You know, my kids were about 3 at that time. I have twins. And I just, you know, so anyway, so I really started sharing as a coach because I just wanted other people to feel confident again and be able to feel like they could do it. And yeah, and so since then, I've lost 40 more pounds and I've lost 60 pounds total. I just feel like I'm in the best shape of my life, or I feel the best inside and out. Like, we work on so much more than just the physical on the team. When you become a coach, you kind of learn about the different pillars of coaching, and one of them is personal development, and that has really changed my life on the inside. And so for me, it's really morphed into feeling empowered to actually build a team and just kind of grow and see what's possible. I'm just so inspired by everybody around here that I feel like this year I'm kind of changing that a little bit. Obviously still paying it forward because I want to help people change their lives, but also just seeing what's possible and just not having any sort of limiting beliefs, because I've seen what so many of you guys have done on the team and it's just incredible. So why can't I too? You know, I just want people to feel that, like, you can do anything you put your mind to. So,
I love that so
I'll
much.
start rambling now.
No, it's good. I love this. It's so special, and that is true. Like, you start to just feel it, and you know that there are others in this world that need that. And it's so much more than pushing play on a workout. It's so much more than, you know, is my plate portioned properly? It's so much more. And I didn't realize, I literally thought I was joining a 21-day program, and then that was it. But it was so healing. It was so therapeutic. It was weird because I was like, how are we going to connect on a Facebook group? Like, this is weird. But don't you all feel just like you're in it? This strong sisterhood. We all run different groups. Every once in a while, we do team-wide groups where all of us bring in all of our customers, all of our challengers, and those are really awesome. But it's really special because all 4 of us run different groups. Whether we use Beachbody has an app that you can run your groups on, or Facebook. That's the joy of this business. But there's that sisterhood in all of our groups, and I just think it's so cool. So cool that social media can be used in such a positive way. One other thing I want to cover before we kind of close up, because I think we're going to run out of time, is I don't know. I'm not an expert. Like, I don't know fitness stuff. I'm not a personal trainer. I don't know nutrition things because I'm not a nutritionist. Like, I don't have that background. How can I coach people? Let me just breathe a breath of fresh air for all of you. You don't have to be. All these programs are professionally designed, but there's so much science behind it. There's so much research. We have super trainers that put together programs that are guaranteed to give you results. We have a whole slew of people with all the nutrition backgrounds and dietitians and all that stuff. They do that. They put the programs together. What we get to do, which I think is the greatest gift of all, is to support the women, men, whomever joins our community and help them get results. We get to be their biggest cheerleader. We get to be that rock during the hard seasons of life, and we get to just celebrate the crap out of them when they're winning. But we don't have to like be the brains behind it necessarily. We get to be the heart. And I love that. I love that I don't have to worry like, oh, is this program going to actually get them results? Yes, they're guaranteed to give you results. And there's a money back guarantee if for whatever reason they don't, but most likely if you actually do it, you're going to get results. I know when I came in, I had no idea. I joined in a free clean eating group. Originally was like my thing, and I had no idea the difference between a bag of black beans and a can of black beans. I was calling my coach in the grocery store like, what am I buying? What am I doing? So you don't need to know. You just need to have a heart to serve and to help other women along the way. I keep saying women because women are the ones who I help, but men too. But anybody else have like a last minute, like last second thing that they want to just put out there for anybody that might catch this recording?
I just want to say,
Go ahead.
I just had 2 ladies that signed up earlier today that have literally had this on their heart for a while, and they just kept saying like, I just keep thinking about it. I just keep thinking about it. And I think that is like a sign. And I always tell people that, like, give it the pillow test. If it's something that you have on your heart, if you're here, if your coach invited you because they truly feel that this is something for you that you would do amazing things with, like, let that sink in, because all the fear and the doubt and all of that is what's preventing you probably from saying yes. But like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? And I am a firm believer of, like, if it's placed on your heart, it's there for a reason. And just think about that piece. The rest of it is all figure outable. Like, so if it's here, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, just remember that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like you said in Florida, Amy, don't think, just do.
And on that note too, of don't think, just do. We will walk you through every step of the way. It's not like we're just gonna like, hey, welcome to our team, and then that's it. No, in our team page, we have a perfectly laid out in chronological order of exactly how to get your journey started. But most importantly, it's just sharing, just you being that positive light on social media, kind of crowding out all the other things that might be going on that platform. But we will walk you through every step of the way. Like I said, I've been here for 8 years. I'm one of the founding coaches. We have failed forward multiple times, a bunch of us leaders, and we continue to just bring forward our best practices and to set you up for success. You will be set up for success, but it's up to you to take that step and to take action and to be open to growing along the way and to finding your own voice and having I always say, like, you kind of have a middle school season. Remember in middle school how you're just a little awkward, you're trying to navigate, you're like, oh, where do it, what? You kind of have to have that. And that's okay. That's really okay. And over time, you'll blossom into that beautiful senior in high school, right? But this was so fun. Thank you, gals, for joining, and we can't wait to see what beautiful faces join our family. If you have any questions, please reach out to the coach that invited you to catch this recording. But why not, right? Why not? So have a good night, everyone.
Bye.